Welcoming, guys. Yeah, I am back on the wrestling channel. This is kind of strange. I'm last time I was on the wrestling channel was when Triple H announced his retirement. I gave my thoughts on it. That was like a month ago. I really haven't been really feeling talking about any wrestling, just because I've been doing other things, and I feel like I don't feel like talking about it, but I thought maybe I'll come back, talk about this Double or Nothing pay-per-view, which I'm pretty interested in watching on Sunday. But I wanted to start off with is I've seen the last few weeks that, especially on social media, that we've had this cult-like thing with AEW, especially with Tony Khan and AEW, how him and Eric Bischoff and CM Punk were going back and forth, and like Punk at one point was like the voice of the voiceless, and now he's like the voice of the cancel generation. Like, I like Punk, but stop catering to all these, cancel culture, people who want to go, cancel him, cancel that guy, X, Y, and Z, because you think it's right. When, again, Eric Bischoff was making some genuine points, and I don't know if I'm going to talk about it or not, but yeah. My second thing is, before I get into the predictions, why is this at Sunday 8 Eastern, TK? Why? Sunday 8 Eastern, Tony Khan. We had this conversation, we keep having this conversation since AEW was a thing. Why is this not on a Saturday night at 8 or maybe a 7? Why on a Sunday? People have work. Why? Why? Huh? Why 8 Eastern on a Sunday? People have work the next day. And you've got 10 matches on the card, 11 matches. What I'm reading off Wikipedia. So you have 11 matches. Oh, it's going to be like 4 or 5 hours. Do you really need... most of these matches are not really necessary. They're not really necessary for the card, to be honest. Like, some of these you could have had on Dynamite, to be honest. But I'm going to go into the first match. Hookhausen versus Tony Nese, Smart Mark Sterling. I really like the Danhausen and the Hook storyline. Got my Danhausen t-shirt on. I've loved that dynamic with Hook and Danhausen. I like it. Kind of reminds me of the whole Kane and I don't know, like not Kane, more like Goldust and Booker T back in the day when Booker T did nothing to do with Goldust, and he was in like the store and he was like getting whatever the hell, getting groceries and whatever. I love those vignettes. I hope that we get some Danhausen and Hook vignettes, like where they're going to the store, where they're at the airport, and just some really cool stuff. I hope that they do that. But the prediction for this match, Hookhausen are going to win. Going on to the actual show, we have Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay. This is a match that I love Jade. I'm a big Jade Cargill fan. But why is random when you're like, Anna Jay runs in on Rampage last week, and you're like, Anna Jay hasn't got a match. Let's give a shit about her, like, because the majority of the last few months she's been on YouTube, and now you're going to put her on a pay-per-view match. But Jade Cargill's going to win. Then we have the finals of the Owen Hart tournament, which is going to be either Kyle O'Reilly or Joe versus Adam Cole. I'm going to say that Samoa Joe beats Kyle O'Reilly this Wednesday on Dynamite, and he's going to face Adam Cole at the pay-per-view, and then Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt are going to cost Joe the match at the pay-per-view, and Adam Cole's going to get the win. Then we have Toni Storm or Britt Baker, whoever's going to win on Dynamite, will face Ruby Soho or Chris Statlander, who are facing off at Rampage. Rampage this Friday. For the women's side of the Owen Hart tournament, I'm going to go for Britt Baker and Ruby Soho, and I'm going to go for Britt Baker again to win. Thunder Rosa versus Serena D. Again, this is my problem with AEW, is that once they give the title to a wrestler, especially this is a problem that TK needs to address, is whenever they put a title on somebody, if it's the world champion, the women's champion, tag champ, whoever, the booking after they won the title is really shocking. It needs to be called out because you look at Thunder Rosa, and she's been a women's champion a month now, maybe like a month now, and her entire run has been interrupted by Nyla Rose, who nobody has cared about for months, but magically, again, I talked about this a few minutes ago with the Anna Jay stuff, like magically you've got to care about Anna Jay because she's got these big wins which only matter, the ranking system only matters when they're defeating people on Dark and Elevation. But when was the last TV win? But anyway, we have Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. I like Serena Deeb. I'm a big fan of Thunder Rosa. I think Thunder Rosa is going to retain the match, but her booking is questionable. Like her, this is what I mean with TK. He needs some riders. He doesn't need a ton of riders, but he needs some riders because you can see this creative freedom is a good thing and a bad thing. And I look at this with Thunder Rosa, and she needs a rider and to establish her as a champion. This is the problem with AEW having too many talents, is that you've only got 3 hours of primetime TV, and you're trying to fit everybody in for 1 week, and then Thunder Rosa gets like a 2-second segment, like that segment last week on Dynamite with Dustin Rhodes and Serena Deeb and Thunder. It was just a fucking clusterfuck to just fill time because TK's like, oh my god, we have we have 2 women's champions. We've got to feature the AEW women's champion feature, and like shit, we got to put her in a. Like I said, this is where the TK needs to bring in some riders. Creative freedom is great and all, but yeah, you need some riders for some of your champions because their booking has been bad. But anyway, Thunder Rosa is going to go over. Then we have the Jurassic Express versus Ricky Starks and Powerless Hobbs versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland for the AEW tag titles. I'm going to say that Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland go over here. Christian's going to turn on Jungle Boy, and we're going to have a Jungle Boy Christian feud, and so on and so on. So Swerve and Keith Lee going to go over for the tag title. We have Jericho's Appreciation Society versus Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz, and Danielson Mox in a Anarchy Arena match, Monarchy Fosca Anywhere match. For this, I'm going to say that I'm going to give it to Jericho. Yeah, Jericho for the win. Jericho Appreciation Society are going to go over for this, and then they'll get another match out of it, maybe like Blood and Guts. House of Black. Again, this is a match. Why are we having this match? House of Black versus Penta, Sarah Miro, Ray Phoenix. Shouldn't be on pay-per-view. Don't care about it. The House of Black are going to win. Hardys versus the Young Bucks. I'm going to say the Hardys are going to go over. Then we have MJF versus Wardlow. I'm going to say that MJF goes over with some interference from maybe Shawn Spears and stuff like that. Then we have the main event, the AEW World Title on the line, Hangman Adam Page. And then when I talked about a few minutes ago with Thunder Rosa and her bad booking, you look at Hangman Adam Page. And I'm a fan of Hangman Adam Page. Like you can see from 2019 to 2022 how he's grown as a performer. And he's, like you look at him from a couple of years ago when he's in Ring of Honor. And where he's now, he actually has a character now. He actually has a presence now. But you look at him recently since he's won that world title, and it has gone absolutely like that. Like up here when he won the world title. One of the biggest babyfaces in wrestling at the time, defeating Kenny Omega, and anyway, picked up with Bryan. Like that feud he had with Bryan was good. I really like that feud with Bryan, and then down again. So I'm hoping that Punk goes over, gets the belt of Hangman Page, and then we have a heel CM Punk. But that is my Double or Nothing pay-per-view predictions. I am recording this on a Tuesday night, so if there's any matches that were announced on Dynamite, I'll put them in the description box.